Hello and welcome back to Altex TV. So today I'm gonna just talk about Game of Thrones Season 8, wrap it all up and talk about all of Game of Thrones in general. Basically it's gonna be podcast style, so I'm just gonna talk, not too much editing involved. And I now have had over a day and a night to really sink my feelings towards how I actually feel about Season 8 as a whole compared to the other seasons of Game of Thrones. And was it a fitting enough ending? Did it satisfy me? That's what I'm generally going to do. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it and I'm going to start talking about Season 8. So if you haven't seen Season 8, there will be open spoilers in here. So go watch it and then come back because it is very divisive this season. Okay, so I've had time to think about what I had just witnessed last night and all of Season 8 as a whole. And for me, personally, the first two episodes, I absolutely loved the first two episodes. Don't get me wrong, they are up there as great episodes of Game of Thrones. I thought, boom, we're off to a start. And I thoroughly enjoyed the characters in those particular episodes and the way they were interacting with each other. And all the plot lines that were all in there with like Jaime and Bran and all that, like, you know, all coming together and meeting in one area for a common cause. And then the second one brought that, it just made you feel like you were there in the battle, before the battle, you know, the calm before the storm, you're sitting there. And it really I felt like I was there and there was a big battle coming. And it really got me in there, and there was some nice little scenes in there with Jaime and Brienne. That, you know, the knighting scene, absolutely brilliant. And there was so many things about the first two episodes that were just absolutely brilliant and captured what Game of Thrones was about. As we moved into the third episode, obviously there was some lighting issue in that. It's going to be better when it comes out, like Blu-ray and all that. It's going to look a lot better. Apart from that, yeah, I mean, they were talking about it was like this big, like one of the biggest battles ever and all that. I was a bit underwhelmed by episode 3. I thought the Night King would have done a bit more instead of that. I have no problem with Arya killing him. I don't have a problem with that. I just thought we were going to, you know, see more of the Night King and the dragons. But we didn't get that big dragon battles or the Night King, you know, or Night King and his generals do anything. So that was a bit underwhelming for me. Other than that, the rest of it was great. Like the action sequences, the cinematography was absolutely brilliant. Like when you have the Dothraki running in, like that just from Jon and Daenerys' point, is just, whoa, it was brilliant. I mean, you can't capture it anymore. For a TV series to do that was just absolutely outstanding. So that one was a bit of a up and down episode for me. I mean, there was things that I was a bit underwhelmed by, and then there was things they did really, really great. And like I said, I had no problems with Arya killing the Night King and the way she did it. I just wish we got to see the Night King do a bit more action, you know, because he was supposed to be this big threat, and it kind of just, you know, it did feel like he was an afterthought, and they were just like, well, we got to do this and have this in there. And you know, the big reason for Season 8, what I think makes it like not as compelling or anything as the other ones, is because of the time and how rushed it felt. Like this is when I felt that it started to being rushed and started to, you know, pick up the pace and like, we need to get to this point, so we need to just bam, 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 bam. And that's what I thought. Maybe if you had the 3 extra ones last season, and then, you know, you have those 3 episodes there, and then you have a 10 season there, and then 10 episode season here as well. You don't have that rush feeling, because I think there was plenty of, you know, time that we could have had in episodes that would have made it not feel so rushed. And that's where I got from episode 3 onwards. It started to feel a bit rushed, and things were just moving quickly and quickly and quickly and quickly. Yeah, it was one of those things. And then we go to episode 4, and episode 4 wasn't too bad. I didn't mind it. Again, it felt a bit rushed as well. They survived and that, and now they're going to go meet, and this is where you start seeing Dany start to really turn. And obviously the seeds were all planted throughout all the other seasons, so I didn't have a problem with what we were going to see later on. I just didn't think it was going to be on that big of a scale, but I could see the turn was going to come. And then, when they start saying that Jon is like, that's the king, Tormund's like, he's the king, that's why he's a king, and you can see she's starting to get a bit jealous in that. And there's something threatening her throne, and she doesn't like that. So you could start to sort of like, see the little turn in her. And then when they meet Cersei and she decapitates Missandra, whatever her name is, Grey Worm's lover, decapitates her in front of him, that kind of just clicks it over a little bit more. So you're like, you got the dial, you're on, mild heat, and then it's like that happened, whoop, we're on high now, bit more, and then we're on a boiling point. And that's where you could see that. And Grey Worm, obviously, he's just like, well, they did as well, so he's on that point as well. So I could see all that coming. And yeah, so the episode 4 for me, I thought it was good. Again, it was a bit rushed, and you had some good scenes in it, but for me, again, it's just a rushed feeling again, like everything's just moving. And then you get into episode 5, and then things just go straight through. And the big controversial thing is the turn of Daenerys, where she just obliterates King's Landing. Just absolutely obliterates it. For me, I don't have a problem with it, because I knew she was coming towards, like, I'm starting to think, well, yeah, she's a bit of a friggin', bitch. She just cares about her throne and that. And, as you move into the final episode, Tyrion does say something to Jon that basically her whole journey has been paved with blood. And you can see it. If you go back and rewatch all the seasons, watch it from not Daenerys is like going for Daenerys, she's a good person. Just watch it from a neutral point, and you actually see, yes, she does. She does use a lot, like, kill people in the process. And we cheer for her because we're like, they're evil, yeah. They're evil, yeah. And, so we're cheering and cheering. But really, she has just absolutely murdered innocent people for no apparent reason, just because she's so mad and driven that she wants to rule by fear, because no one sees her as a queen except for the Unsullied and all that. And she doesn't want anyone to take it away. She doesn't want anyone to oppose her, so she's going to rule with fear. And I could see the turn coming. I didn't expect it to be on such a grand scale like that. I thought it might have been like a Tyrion moment where she kills Tyrion or Jon or something like that. But I didn't see that big of a thing. And which then leads into the final and the finale, which it felt rushed to me. The finale felt so rushed. I mean, they were just bam, bam, bam. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind what they did in, like, the episode. I don't mind that Bran's king and all that. Like, all the stuff and the elements that they put into the idea of it, I don't have any problems with. I just wish we had more time to establish everything and tie everything up. Like, and maybe even just give us, like, when Tyrion and Jon are talking about that 10 years, talk to me in 10 years, I thought, oh, we're going to get a little time skip at the end here, where it's going to go 10 years later, and they're going to meet, and they're going to be talking about it, and we're going to find out where they are at that point, what happened to the dragon, what happened to the Unsullied and Dothraki, and all the other houses. Are they all living in harmony, or is everything gone pear-shaped again and everyone's at war? But we didn't get that, unless they're leaving it open like that for maybe, spin-off series, because we know we're getting a prequel to it all, which is set 1,000 years ago, apparently. That's what I've heard, and because they've already done the casting for that. And are we going to get the Arya spin-off? Who knows? I wouldn't mind seeing Arya, the assassin of whatever. She's just going around assassinating people, doing contracts for money and that. That would be pretty cool to see her adventures. And yeah, there's just so many things that there. But overall, to me, the biggest thing was it felt so rushed. That was the big thing, and I think that's the big thing for most people, is it was so rushed and trying to get to one point that it kind of just, it just took away from the character development and everything that Game of Thrones was all about, and the character drama. We didn't get too much in the final episodes, which was a bit of a letdown. And I mean, there's so many more TV series that haven't stuck the landing. Like, it is hard to be such a good TV series and end it, like, perfectly. Like, you're never going to satisfy everyone. I mean, sometimes you just got to accept that's the way it's ended, and you just got to move on. Like, don't get me wrong, I think this series was rushed, and it would have been better if we had 7 and 8 as both 10 episodes. That would have been so much better, but this is the way it is. Like, I don't have a problem with Bran being king or anything like that happened. I liked basically everything about Season 8. I liked all the concepts, the ideas, everywhere, the direction it was all going. I just wish we had a bit more time to flush it all out and tie everything up nicely. But then again, they might pick it up later on in, like, say 5 or 10 years. Depending on, because they're doing Star Wars, they're doing the Star Wars trilogy, so it depends on their schedule whether or not they want to do it. So that's going to be interesting to see how they go, and I'm interested to see what the other spin-off series are going to be. That's going to be pretty cool. But overall, I mean, I enjoyed the season. I'm sad that it's not, on anymore. It's kind of like, well, Game of Thrones is a bit done, and I think that's another thing why people are a bit mixed on the final season and that, because we know that this is it. There's no more Game of Thrones. Like, we're not getting any more Game of Thrones now. So it's kind of like, except for the spin-offs, but who knows. But we're not getting this main cast anymore, and that kind of does hinder it. I believe it hinders my view on it as well. Like, okay, that was it. That's it. Like, there's no more now, so you can't fix anything or tie anything up. It's like, that's it. It's done now. So, but I would love to hear what everyone else's comments are about Season 8, because I did enjoy Season 8. It's obviously not my favourite. I mean, I still think Battle of the Bastards is the best episode by far. I think that one is awesome. I still maintain that Ned Stark is my favourite character, no matter what. Even though they killed him in Season 1, I was devastated when they did that, but he's still my favourite. Tyrion close second, and I mean, I'm sad that Game of Thrones is gone, but who knows what the future holds. Never say never in the film and TV industry, because you never know what you're going to get. So I hope the prequel's good, and I hope the spin-off series are good. I want to hear, what are your thoughts? What do you guys want to see in the spin-offs? What are you expecting from the prequel? And yeah, basically everyone, what are your thoughts on Game of Thrones? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourselves a lovely day.